In this video tutorial, we're going to take a look at importing metocean data into a mermaid analysis and the different types of metocean data available to us. We're going to start with a blank MER file, and we're starting on the metocean tab, and from here we can add some metocean locations by clicking on the weather vane icon. We'll name these metocean points Met Point 1 and 2 and 3, and we'll set a location for these points. For this example, it's not really essential to have a location, but in a real analysis, it's information that we need to provide. We can also do the process of adding metocean locations from the Map tab, and it works in much the same way. So Met Point 3, and we'll leave its location as 0, 0. We can now add some data to these metocean locations. So if we switch to the Source tab, and here we're going to do a CSV import, and we're going to browse to the file onesource_in_one_file_wind, which contains wind data for this location. Here we can see a summary of the file, latitude, longitude, date, time, and wind speed, and we can use this to check that Mermaid's passing the information correctly, that it's delimiting it correctly, and that we know what data is in what column. Once we're happy with that, we can hit finish, and we can start to add data series information. So the timestamps are in column 3, and column 4 is the wind speed, and this is at Met Point 1. And we can now click import, and that data will be brought into our file. Now that we've done that, we can pop back to our locations and take a look at Met Point 1, and we can see that we've imported wind speed data from 1979 through to the end of July 2014, and this is what we expect. If we return to the sources, we're now going to import some wave height data, so if we browse to the CSV containing that information. Again, the passing information is popped up, and we can see that the format of this file is the same as previously, and that it's significant wave height in column 4. So let's add the data series in the same manner as previously. And here we can see all the metocean data that Mermaid can use in an analysis: the wind speed, wave height, wave period, current speed, and tidal elevation. We're importing significant wave height here, so let's select that. And it's a metocean point 1, and again we can click import. We can see the last date and time that we imported at, and if we go back to our locations, we can see we've now added significant wave height from November 1990 to July 2014 to this metocean point. And this is what we expect. The wave height data is a shorter period of time than the wind speed. So let's add some data to Met Point 2, which currently has no information. And this time we're going to import from a file which contains multiple metocean data types in one file. This is toSources_in_one_file.csv. And here we can see the date and time are in the first column, the tidal current velocity is in the second column, and the wave height in the third column. We can undertake a similar process as previously, where we specify the timestamps as being in the first column here this time. Add a data series, we can set this up for Met Point 2, and then add a second data series, which is the wave height at Met Point 2. We just select that from the drop downs. And we can now import this data, and this will populate both the current speed and the significant wave height for this metocean point in one go, rather than having to do this as separate processes. That's now imported, so let's pop back over to the Locations tab and just check that we've got the information we expect. You can see significant wave height, and for the corresponding period of time we can see tidal current speed. If we look back at Met Point 1, we can see this hasn't changed. We still have our wind speed and our wave height data. And so we've built up these two metocean points, and now we need to do the third one. This time we're going to import from an Excel workbook. We browse to toSources_in_one_file.xlsx and open that. We get a slightly different importing experience this time, different information required. So add a data series and specify this is current speed and that it's at met point 3. And we can then look at the Excel file and we can select the data range that contains the current speed. This is B2 to the very bottom of column B. And by holding shift while we click, we can select that range. It's OK. And now we can just copy and paste this range around and change the column reference in it. So we know timestamps are in column A. If we update that and add another data series, because this file contains 2 sources, significant wave height at metocean point 3. And we know this is in column C. And as previously, the timestamps are in column A, so we'll just copy that reference from above. Now that all the data and fields are set up correctly, the import option becomes available. We can hit import and we can see this information being pulled into Mermaid. At this point, we're not going to worry too much about conversion offset and conversion scale. And that data is imported, and we can just quickly check back to our locations and make sure we've got the information we expect, which we have. So we've set up all 3 metocean points. That's the end of the tutorial on importing metocean data, and provides an overview on different methods available for doing so and the different formats that metocean data can be stored in before importing to a Mermaid analysis.